Hello, broadcasters. Welcome to episode 142 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name is Geige. I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
Doing great. Nice matching hoodie.
Yeah, it's the new ones. We'll be at the end. We'll give away one of the new hoodies tonight, so you guys might be the lucky winner. But for anyone new here, Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard. We do these town halls every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific. Do them for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with you guys, go through the same flow you guys do when you do your own shows. Two is to answer any of your questions. So if there's anything you'd like us to touch on tonight, feel free to leave it in the chat. We'll do our best to get to all of them. We love chatting with you guys. And then I always make sure I mention the three pillars of StreamYard, which are ease of use, stability, and professional stream. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. See lots of people sharing in where they're tuning in from tonight. Pretty cool. Got people in Kansas, Washington, D.C., Mexico, New York. I think I saw someone in Oregon too, which is pretty close to me. I'm in Washington, right at the border. Pretty cool. All right. I think we had a question from RLCC says, if I delete a past broadcast in StreamYard, will the actual broadcast say in FB be deleted also? So RLCC, it prompts you on StreamYard. First of all, you have the option to delete either just the recording. So if you just want to free up storage, you have the option to just delete the recording, or to delete the broadcast itself, but you'll be asked if you want to delete it on the social platforms in addition to StreamYard itself. So there's, I think, little check boxes for each platform, right, Dan?
Yep, you got it.
Cool. Before I forget, lots of awesome StreamYard shows to mention. So we have the StreamYard Spotlight, first Thursday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is a show where Dana and Kelsey highlight you folks, awesome people in the StreamYard community and how they're having success with live streaming. We have channel reviews with Dee Niman and Daniel Batal the second Saturday of every month, which is really great for if you're trying to grow on YouTube and looking for tips as far as like thumbnails, how often you should be posting, how to mix up your content. They have awesome advice there. We have Enhance Your Live Streaming the last Tuesday of the month with Nick Niman, also awesome expert when it comes to YouTube and video in general. So great tips there if you're just looking to up your live streaming game. We have Live Stream Impact with Julie the second Friday of every month at 3 p.m. Eastern, where she does great interviews with people in the space. And then we have live stream reviews the first and third Saturday at noon PST, with Christian giving you any tips and advice for your live streams. Oh, and of course, open office hours. So any additional questions, any extra help you need, Julie and Mel go live 11 a.m. Eastern in the Facebook group every Tuesday, first and third week of the month. All right. Fun fact, we have every week now we're doing a fun fact, so feel free to share yourself. So it's always fun for Dan and I to get to know more about you guys, and you guys can hear about our fun fact. Hopefully you enjoy it too. Today it was favorite season. What's your favorite season, Dan?
I think it's summer. I like the heat. Kind of sick of the cold. How about you?
Me too. It's gone back and forth over time, but now it's definitely. I feel like it depends where I live. If I live in a super hot place, like I used to live in Arizona for a while, summer was not my favorite month living in Arizona. But now that back in the Northwest, I definitely enjoy the warmth of summer.
Cool. The only downside is that there's no hockey in the summer usually. At least as a kid, that was the only thing I didn't like about it.
As a kid. Chris says, hey guys, any plans to increase the number of people allowed backstage and on screen from 10? It's a good question, Chris. So on screen, we're less certain of, but definitely when it comes to backstage, we want to provide more functionality when it comes to managing a large number of guests, especially for people that are doing long running events where maybe you're doing a 4-hour event where 30 different people are speaking at different times, and you don't want to have the fear and uncertainty of like, oh, am I going to have enough capacity to hold all those people? So we're definitely working on designing and thinking through ways to improve that experience, whether that's just more people backstage or more people on screen, or sort of like a separate area to manage those folks. So definitely something we're thinking about. I'd be curious if that would be a good solution for you, as far as just like having a sort of separate area where you could manage those people, or if you really need more people on screen.
Yep. And I should mention we also have 12 backstage on the professional plan.
Right.
Just in case, like for those cases where maybe you have like 10 on screen, but then you also want to like shuffle in one extra person out, or you have like 10 on screen and you're just hosting or something. There's just a few use cases there. So we do have 12 backstage on the pro plan, but still just 10 on screen.
Cool. Gizzard Gary says, question, my recording storage shows I've used 40.5 of 50 hours, but I have past broadcasts in the list going back to 2019, way more than 40.5 hours worth. What is up with that? So that's a good question, Gary, and we are working to make things more clear. So like right now, there's just the past broadcast section, but eventually we will have a better management for you to get a good understanding of like what actually is stored here. So the reason for that is, as you probably know, we used to automatically delete broadcasts after 14 days or so. So although you have a bunch of broadcasts listed in the past broadcast section, ones in 2019 are not stored. Like you wouldn't be able to download those broadcasts. So you don't actually have more than 40.5 hours worth. That's just sort of like a log of all the ones you've actually done. If you want to see which ones are actually stored, you could just click the three dots and you'll see, if you have the option to download it, it's stored. But again, we want to make this more clear for people. So working on a solution to make it obvious what's stored and what's not.
Yep. Unless you've deleted a bunch of your older broadcasts, it'll be all the older ones are gone, because like Geige said, we used to delete them right away. So all the new ones you have, like the most recent 40 hours, will be the ones that are stored, unless you deleted a bunch of those.
Wayne says, StreamYard, will you offer an option to set StreamYards if someone tips us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, also followers notifications? So we do integrate with the super chats on YouTube, Wayne. I need to check what's currently available on Facebook. I know some certain pages have some monetization options. So always looking to make sure that we're up to date when it comes to what we can integrate with on those platforms. So anything that's available over the APIs with those platforms, we'd like to integrate with. Follower notifications is an interesting one. We don't actually get it requested too much, probably because it's pretty noisy for folks, but something we're open to as far as something you could enable or disable.
Yep. And we do have, I think YouTube calls them members. When someone becomes a member, like a paying member, we do show that in like a, make it look all custom. So we have that one, but not like subscribers on YouTube, for example.
Cool. We did actually have some announcements tonight. So one of the ones I wanted to mention is Twitter Live is officially here. So we're actually live on Twitter now. It used to be Periscope. If you were going live on Periscope, you would have received an email with the instructions of like how to make that migration. But Twitter's now an official destination, and you can connect it and go live there. It's still pretty early in terms of like the functionality, so hopefully more features will come, like comments integrations and things like that. So we're eager to implement anything that's available there. Curious how many of you are currently using, or were using Periscope and are now using Twitter, and how that transition's been for you. Let us know.
Yeah, it's definitely a trade-off, right? Because on one hand, like you lost, if you were really just using Periscope and didn't care as much about Twitter, then it's unfortunate, obviously. For a lot of you that were just mainly using Periscope as a way to go to Twitter, it's more convenient now.
Steven says, any timeline on when we will get analytics in StreamYard? I don't have any exact dates for you, Steven, partially because it will come in, there's different types of analytics that we're working on. One is for just sharing videos in general, like now that you can share videos on StreamYard, getting a sense of like how many people have actually watched that video. So there's different pieces of it. Any thoughts on that one, Dan?
Like you said, it'll come in chunks. No exact dates, but definitely something we're looking into right now.
Cool. Let's see what else we have here. Vegas says, glad I finally make it after doing 2 months of debating on buying StreamYard. I finally got it and joined the FB group, but glad to make the streams and learn more learning more about streaming. Thanks so much, Vegas. That's awesome to hear.
Cool.
Crypto says, I do 60 hours of streaming every week with over 15 different YouTube channels, all with 100,000 subs. Congrats on that, Crypto. That's fantastic. I'd be curious, is it YouTube channels that have similar content? Is it all completely different content? That's pretty impressive to have that many subs on that many different YouTube channels. Maybe it's all different types of crypto. Maybe one about each different coin or something. Let us know.
Cool. And also be interested, like, is it just you? Do you have multiple people like on that YouTube channel, or like, are you doing all those shows? Or yeah, that's either way, that's impressive. But
thanks for the clarification, Chris. That's definitely useful for us to know that would be a good solution. All right. Another thing I wanted to mention tonight, a slight update, but something that we're excited about, is you can now import LinkedIn broadcasts. So instead of like if you don't directly schedule the broadcast from StreamYard itself, if you set it up on LinkedIn, or maybe before you even started using StreamYard, you had some set up and you hadn't actually started using StreamYard, and it's like, oh, how am I going to connect this broadcast? You can now, what does the flow look like? Then you just copy the link.
No, we'll just show you. So there's like a button to click import, and I think about most users have access to it on StreamYard right now. I'm not sure if everyone does yet, but this week hopefully everyone should. And then you click a button when you're creating a broadcast for LinkedIn where you import it. Like it just shows you the list of your LinkedIn broadcasts. Essentially, you can pull them in.
Cool. And yeah, curious if that's something you guys will use, and if it's something that you're interested in seeing on other platforms as well. Like, would you like to be able to import like Facebook broadcasts or YouTube broadcasts? Let us know. Sounds like the integration was easy for Chris. Appreciate that, Chris. Glad it was smooth. Patrick says, used to use Periscope, first time straight to Twitter this coming week. Well, good luck on your first Twitter live stream. We're live on it now, so we'll let you know how it goes afterwards.
Cool.
I think it's pretty similar, like to as far as like how it works under the hood. It's pretty similar to Periscope, so I don't anticipate any major differences.
Yeah, it's the exact same infrastructure.
Bishop says, I use Twitter, have 2 accounts, but can only connect 1. So if you reach out to support, Bishop Donald, they can walk you through the process. I'm guessing what's happening is you're only logged into 1 Twitter account, and you keep connecting to that one. So if you log out of that Twitter and into the new one and then go through the connection process, I'd imagine it will work, but support StreamYard.com/contact can walk through that with you.
Cool. And one thing I haven't tested is if Twitter has the same limitation Periscope used to have, where as soon as you log out, or in the past, as soon as you logged out of Periscope in your browser, it kind of invalidated the connection with like StreamYard's connection to Periscope. I don't actually know if Twitter is like that. That's not something I've tested. But if that is the case, you might need to connect the second Twitter account on another browser, like in a Chrome incognito window or in Firefox or something. I'm hoping that's not the case, though. So I'll give that a try personally and see what happens.
Ariel says, a few days ago, I used a tool to stream pre-recorded video. Once I upload the video, I schedule it 20 minutes later, but it skips and has quality issues. Is it necessary to wait for some processing time? So it shouldn't be necessary to wait, Ariel. The only thing I could think is if maybe there's something unique about the video file itself. So I would reach out to support and troubleshoot with them. But once it's uploaded, there's not really the processing happens very quickly. There's no need to wait.
Yeah.
Let's see. Vegas says, when using StreamYard, does it help with background noise cancellation, like background traffic noise? There is actually a setting for that, Vegas. If you go into the cam and mic settings, into audio, you'll see an option that says echo cancellation, which it does more than just. We should have a more descriptive name, because it does a few different things, and one of those is actually a reduction of background noise. So yes, it does help. Like if you have a fan in the background and whatnot, if you have that setting on, it will help. We always recommend for the absolute best quality, just using headphones, and actually disabling it to remove that processing will give you the absolute best audio quality. But if that's not possible for you, it is a good solution for reducing background noise.
Yeah, and like if you have traffic noise, headphones won't help for that. That's more just for echo, is what Geige is referring to. Like if the noise is coming out of your computer, for background noise, you'll want to keep that on, and it does help. It's not absolutely perfect, because there's kind of a trade-off between, if it was perfect for canceling background noise, it might make your voice not sound as good. Like it might be too heavily processed. So it's kind of like a middle balance of doing some processing, but not like, if you had a dog literally barking right next to it, it wouldn't work. We've considered adding stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, it's a trade-off, because then you're also like processing people's voice a little heavier as well. So
thanks for the extra context. Stephen says, in a corporate environment, just needing help with the metrics right now, manually logging views in a spreadsheet, which is taxing. Yeah, definitely understand going into a spreadsheet every week. So yeah, hopefully soon we'll be able to have like a simple solution that addresses that for you. Maybe even have it exportable into a CSV or something like that. So no exact date, but the context is super useful for us. And if there's any other insights you have there too, as far as like other types of metrics beyond just the views, super useful for us to know. All right, let's see what else we had for tonight. Kind of a random question, but we were curious. I don't think we've ever actually asked it before. is what StreamYard features do you find that you never really use? Like, does StreamYard have any features that aren't really useful? You just never find yourself using them. You might not know they exist, in which case it might be kind of hard to answer, but just curious if there's like, what kinds of things are just not particularly useful to you.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone has a few, but it's probably very different for everyone.
Michael says, are teams coming soon? Yes, very, very soon, Michael. So keep an eye on your email. It's coming out in stages for different users. It's not like just a switch that goes on for everyone. So you'll get an email, and there'll be some stuff in app to walk you through the process of migrating to Teams. So stay on the lookout for that. Carl says, this is great news. LinkedIn enhancements always welcome. Yeah, absolutely. LinkedIn Live is awesome, and they continue to add awesome features. All right. Clarine says, great to see a new LinkedIn related feature. I often feel like I'm one of a few LinkedIn broadcasters amongst these town halls. Fair enough. The people that are on it certainly love it. I mean, it's still what I can't think of the word. You have to be nominated.
Yeah. Whitelisted?
Yeah, that's not the word I'm looking for, but yeah, you have to be accepted into the program still, but they are, it is starting to open up more and more. So if you applied in the past, or application only, I think is what I was looking for. Cool. If you applied in the past and didn't get in, make sure you try again, because it is opening up a bit, and it's a great platform to go live on, especially for business type content. Hector says, I manage 4 Periscope accounts, and the system allows to connect one. Once it's connected, you can log out and then connect the next one. Did it super easy. So thanks for the clarification there, Hector. So for those of you, as far as connecting multiple Twitters, those steps should help.
Yep.
All right, Dan, should we go ahead and start our giveaway for today?
Cool, let's do it.
For anyone who is new to these town halls, we do these every week. If you just type in, as many of you already have, if you type in hashtag the yard, you'll be eligible to win. Tonight we'll give away, we're actually wearing them tonight, we'll give away one of these StreamYard sweaters and the StreamYard pillow. Let me see if I have a picture of it. Yeah, StreamYard pillow with the updated sweater, the bigger StreamYard logo, but you'll win a pillow and the StreamYard sweater. So we give you guys a bit of time to get your entries in. Him Kusanagi says, do we have transition effects on StreamYard? By the way, we use StreamYard in our church and it works great. Thanks, Him. Glad to hear that. So right now, fairly limited on transition effects. I mean, when you change layouts, there's obviously the animation, but we're definitely open to adding more. I'd be curious how advanced and what kind of transitions you'd like to see. But right now, there's just like the built-in stuff for changing layouts.
Yeah. Very curious what type of stuff you'd want to have.
Just Be Out says, will SY support MOV, not only MP4s? We certainly might at some point. Just Be Out. The only reason we don't now is to make sure that every device, like especially because guesting is so important on StreamYard, that every device is able to play back those videos in your streams. And maybe something's changed since the last time we checked, but that was the only reason for not supporting MOV. Any thoughts on that one, Dan?
Yeah, I imagine we will, and just like, one of the issues we have is with alpha transparency. Like, we want to make it where you can have transparent videos, like transparent backgrounds, but that's the part that's really not supported on multiple browsers at the moment. So yeah, open to it. I imagine it's something we'll improve over time.
Cool. All right. Have we given enough time, or is
I think we're good. I think we're good.
Cool.
Let's do this. Good luck, everyone.
Dave, congrats. Dana will reach out to you to get your information and send you your StreamYard sweater and pillow.
Cool. I don't think Dave's won before, but he might have.
He's looked super familiar, so I'm not 100% sure. But
Dave's definitely asked a lot of questions in the town hall. But either way, it's probably a new hoodie for you, even if you have one before.
That's true. The pillow, the hoodie's updated, and everyone could use another pillow. So why not? I don't actually think he's won it. Just he shows up every single, or not every single time, but most of the time. So yeah, congrats, Dave.
Yeah, Dana thinks he won already as well, but.
Should we just give it out twice? Should we just run it one more time?
All right, let's do it. Just in case.
So Dave will still ship you the stuff, but 2 people will win tonight.
All right, take 2, folks.
Hopefully it's not Dave again.
I was going to say.
Leonard, congrats. Thanks so much for tuning in to tonight. If you email contact@streamyard.com, Dana can sort out the details. But yeah, you're hopefully proud owner of the StreamYard sweater and pillow as well. Adam says, sometimes the block option is my favorite tool on YouTube. Sorry to hear that, Adam, but at least you have a tool to deal with it. Steven says, KPIs I'm tracking right now, views, engagement, parentheses, likes, comments, shares. Eventually, I'd love a way to tie this to revenue, but baby steps. Yeah, tying it to revenue would be an interesting one. You have a lot of hooks coming back. But yeah, that's good to know. Thanks for that, Steven. Dave says, any thoughts to increase the 10-minute video upload/overlay to 20 or 30 minutes? It's something we're open to, Dave. I'd be curious if with the video, like part of the way we wanted to support that was just with the video sharing feature for longer videos where you could just share it directly from your desktop. Curious if that's a good solution for you, or if it's you want sort of the like the nice thing about uploading it is you're not at the mercy of your computer at all. It's like fully on StreamYard. So just curious, first of all, if you even know about it, and if so, if it's a good solution or it's just doesn't quite fit what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, definitely curious why.
Kathy says, love StreamYard and still learning. Thank you. Awesome, Kathy. Really appreciate that. Lots of hashtag the yards. Makeout TV says, can we have camera controls, brightness, and contrast? Do you have any thoughts on that one, Dan? I think we're somewhat limited as far as like a lot of that stuff you have to control on the camera itself, right?
Yeah, so like we could apply filters in the browser. It's just at the moment, as far as I know, the browser doesn't expose any of that information. Like we can't edit your camera kind of thing. But there is a lot of simple software, so it kind of depends what kind of camera you have. To be honest, it's very different software for different things. But I know, like, Logitech, for example, is a common one. There is like, well, they have a lot of different like downloadable tools that just basically change your camera, and then you still use it with StreamYard and everything. But that'd be an example of how you could do something like that. We could apply filters on top of it, but it's not quite the same as actually, or maybe it's pretty similar. It could be something for us to explore. But over time, I'm hoping they'll be kind of more like the browser will have more access, and we can kind of get into more of that stuff.
Kirk says, feature I don't use, ship videos up for comments and banners. Thanks for that, Kirk. Good to know.
Cool.
NLTMW says I got publicly shamed when I won a second time. I hope you didn't feel like that, NLTMW. Appreciate you participating.
Aww.
Thanks for the clarification, Dave. Share video from the browser is a big process drain and not as good as quality as uploading. And the new pre-recorded broadcaster doesn't allow comments. Super good to know that, Dave. So yeah, we're definitely open to it. One thing that is we just have to make sure that the flow is nice because it takes a long time for those things to upload and whatnot. But yeah, we're definitely open to it. Hector says, I would like the option of positioning an uploaded logo in any corner. Good to know. Yeah, definitely would be a pretty easy one for us to add. The one we generally suggest now, which maybe it's just a hassle, but would be curious if you've considered, Hector, is just like with a transparent overlay, you can choose to put the logo anywhere you'd like to. So that's one option you could do. But again, not as easy as just uploading the logo. So fair enough. Landlord Advocates says, my question hasn't been answered. I'll try to find it. If you could say it again, Landlord, I'll scroll back and try to find it because I remember you mentioned that last time. I'm trying to remember what the question. Oh, here we go. When will StreamYard integrate with Stream Deck? Using OBS Streamlabs is inconvenient. So I don't have, and I'm sorry we missed it last time, Landlord. Thanks for asking again. Don't have an exact date, but the first step that's going to happen is we will add hotkeys, so the ability to bind certain actions on StreamYard, like showing banners or comments to different keys on your keyboard. And that'll be the first step to be able to, in the Stream Deck itself, it's not as clean of an integration as just installing an app, but you will at least be able to use it. and then we'll likely from there make further integrations.
Yep.
All right, and thanks for finding it. Michael says, can we get an option for YouTube at a YouTube created event? So I assume for that one, Michael, you mean similar to like the LinkedIn thing. So that was sort of what I was alluding to. So yeah, at some point we'll likely do it for YouTube as well.
Cool.
All right, let's see. I think we did have only a few more minutes here. I think I did have a couple other questions I wanted to ask you guys. One of those was actually, no, one of them was an announcement. So in case you weren't here last time, we do have a new industry showcase on October 7th. So be sure to, it's specifically for producers of events. So if you're in that space, definitely, I think I've got a thumbnail image for it. We have got a great speaker lineup for it, and you can RSVP if you just go to StreamYard.com/SY showcase. It's on the 7th. So be sure to tune into that if you're interested. And another small one, there was a Facebook image cropping issue this week. It appears to be resolved. Now we're not 100% sure, but it's at least fixed appears to be fixed based on what we're seeing. So just so you know, that should be resolved. What was the impact then? It was just like your uploaded thumbnails would appear a bit differently on Facebook.
Yeah, it was like the image that Facebook. So you'd upload a thumbnail on StreamYard when scheduling a broadcast, and then on Facebook it'd be very zoomed in. It appears to have resolved itself, or Facebook appears to have resolved it, I should say. But yeah, we're still waiting for final confirmation from them about whether they have. It just seems to be fixed. And it could be the type of thing, maybe it's only fixed for some users. So we'll keep investigating just to be sure.
Dave says, how can we get involved with the beta or stage rollout of Teams? So there's not really going to be a beta for it, Dave. Like it's tested and ready. So just stay tuned on your email. Like there's not going to be a massive gap between when other folks receive access versus you. So just stay on your email. It'll be with it. It'll be very, I'm hesitant to give a date. It'll be very, very soon. Just stay tuned on the email and you'll know exactly what you need to do. Larry says, any plans for user engagement tools like polls, etc.? We're definitely open to it. Larry, I'd be curious what you think of like the existing tools on social platforms, and if you'd want StreamYard to just go ahead and use those. Like I think, do they still have it? I know YouTube launched a polling thing. I'm not sure if they polled it or not. But like curious if you want something outside of those where it's like a StreamYard link for people to contribute to, which could be useful for things like if you want to capture emails or something like that, or if you want it built into the social platforms. But no specific dates or anything, but definitely something that comes up that we're open to adding. All right, maybe time for one last one here. Yes, Michael, on the pinned comments noted, stay tuned on that one too. It's definitely in development. Let's see. RLCC says, can we separate the chat box as a window? So we don't currently have that functionality, RLCC, but that one would be pretty easy, I think, for us to add. Just having I think you mean essentially the same thing like YouTube has the ability to pop out the chat. Definitely something we could add. I'd be curious how you'd be using it. Is the type of thing where I won't try to guess. I'm just curious how the main reason you'd want to use that. All right, this was episode 142 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. Let me find my thumbnail image here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week at the same time. But yeah, it's always a pleasure hanging out with you guys. Appreciate you being here.
Awesome. See you next week, everyone.